Hi, Taylor's channel. This is Darren, Taylor's husband. I am recording this because I'm going to be making a headboard for Taylor for her anniversary. She's been saying that she wanted a tufted headboard for a long time, and so I'm going to attempt to make one myself. So these are the materials I have. I have the fabric that I'm going to be covering the headboard with. It's just a gray suiting fabric. You can really use any type of fabric you want for a headboard. She really wanted this gray and yellow quilt, so I'm using gray to kind of work off of that. Then I have here some buttons. Of course, you need buttons if you're going to make a tufted headboard. So I got a button kit, so these are going to allow me to cover the buttons with the fabric so that they match the headboard. Then I have this mattress pad. You're going to be wondering what that is for. I'm using that as the foam. It's cheaper than the foam that you'll get at the fabric store, and it works just as well, especially if you want a soft headboard. And then of course I have some batting that I'll be putting on top of the foam to make the headboard as soft as possible. I also have the wood I'm going to be using. So I just got some plywood from Home Depot. I think it was like $7 for a 4x8 piece of wood. Of course, I didn't need a 4x8 piece, so I had them cut it up. I wanted to do 4x5 for the headboard, but I can't fit 4-foot piece of wood in my car because my car is small, so I had them cut it in half. So we're going to be bracing those two pieces of wood back together. Okay, so I'm going to get started with this. So I will see you guys later. Okay, everyone, so what I'm going to do first is cut out the fabric for the buttons. So I have these, which I showed you in the beginning. It's the craft cover button kit. So it's a kit that allows us to cover the buttons with the fabric so they will match our headboard. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the trusty tool they gave us, which is this nice little ring here. It has a circle in here. If you're using a, what's it called? If you're using patterned fabric, you could use this circle to make sure that the center of your button is what you want it to be. But I'm not using pattern, so it doesn't really matter much to me. So I'm going to go ahead. I should probably be using a pencil, but I'm not. I don't have a pencil. It doesn't matter much. So all you have to do is you put this down, and then you trace around the outer edge, and then you'll cut out this circle. So you would cut out that circle and use that for your button edge. So I need 45 buttons, so I have to do this 45 more times. Yay! Alright, everyone, I'm back again, and I finished drawing my button circles. So I'm just going to cut them out here with these trusty fabric scissors that I get to use now, because Taylor always yells at me if I use these for anything other than fabric. Well, Taylor, it's fabric this time, so you can't be mad at me. I'm using them for the right thing. So I'm just going to cut these out. We have to do this 45 times. Enjoy. Because my design for the tufted headboard has, I'm just going to cut this. My design for the tufted headboard has 45 buttons in it. I really did plan this out. I did the math and everything, so I'm not just blindly doing this. Although I have never made a tufted headboard before. I'm sorry, I'm not even in camera here. I've never made a tufted headboard before, so we're gonna see how well this works. But yeah. Alright, so after you get your circle cut out, the button kit comes with this little thing here. So we take our fabric we put it over that, and then you get the little dome piece here. It's this piece. You put that upside down on top of the fabric. If I can get it in there. Press that. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, you press it in there. Just like that. Sorry. And then see if you have a piece of fabric with a design, then that's where you'll be able to see if the design is exactly where you wanted it, and then you could like adjust it, of course. So let's see, what do we do next here? So it says we fold the fabric over, and using this nice little piece here, and you put this piece on top of the fabric, and then you have this, which is called a pusher, and you push down into it clicks, I believe. Didn't hear a click. Sorry. There we go. So we got it to click, and then this little thing is rubber, so we can just pop the button out. And voila! There's our button, stretched nice and smoothly over it, and that way it will match the headboard. So you see it'll look pretty nice going forward. So I only have to do this 45 more times, or 44 more times. So I'll be back once I'm done with that. Okay guys, I finished all the buttons, and now I'm going to work on the wood that's going to be the structure of the headboard. As you see here, I have what is a 4x5 piece, but I had to cut it in half to fit it in my car. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use some pieces that I cut from excess wood, this here, and I'm going to put it, I'm going to screw it into it just to connect the two pieces again. I have them even already, so that should be good. Now I just need to get my tape measure to make sure I'm not putting the braces on any spots that I will need to be drilling holes later for, or well, the braces can go on those, but I have to not put the screws in those spots. So let me get my tape measure and we'll continue on. So I do already know where I want the holes to go into the headboard. I measured that out already. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the tape measure, try not to move the boards any. So let's see, let's make sure the rolls are going to be every 8 inches. So I know I can't put a screw here, but I can put one a little lower than that. And then when we're going across, alright, so the brace is in a good spot here. So I think I'm going to go ahead and screw it on where it is, and we'll be good. So I'm going to get my drill, and we'll just add it on. Okay, so I got my drill ready. I'm going to be using 1-inch wood screws to secure this to the boards. Just make sure I measure again. I know, okay, so it's going to be, this is a safe area right here to screw this onto. So I'm just going to take my drill and screw this in. You can use a screwdriver to do this. It'll just be a bit more difficult to do with a screwdriver. Alright, so that's in there, pretty secure. And we'll just finish that with the rest of the braces, and we'll put them on. Okay, everybody, now that I have the braces on, and this is one solid piece of wood again, well, as solid as it can be, I'm going to now mark the spots where I want to drill the holes to pull the buttons through for the tufting. So, I have my tape measure. I already measured out where I would want the buttons to be. So I'm just going to do that now. I was starting the first row 2 inches from top, which is just going to mark that spot there. It's 2 inches down and 6 inches in. Mark that. You want to be careful on the wood. You don't want to break it. So let's see here. Alright, so those 2 inches down and 6 inches in. Which is here. And if it's going to be 2 inches down, use the first hole. So on that spot right there. Now, each one of my holes was 8 inches apart, so we're just going to go 8 inches apart on each one, and then we will mark that. Now I'm going to get a T-square for that. It's easier and it kind of helps you stay level. So I'm going to use a T-square to mark all the spots, and then after we're done we can start drilling our holes. Okay everyone, so I'm done marking out the pattern for the tufting on the board. I'm not sure you can see all of it in the camera, but as you can see here, we got the markings for the holes, and then I drew the lines between them so you can kind of see the pattern. This will help you I guess, you know, understand what it's going to look like when you actually put the buttons in for the tufting. That way you can make sure everything is even, and you know, just make sure your pattern is clear enough. You can see it stops short a little bit at the end there. I'm not sure if you can see all of that, but yeah, it stops short a little bit at the end, but that's okay because, you know, that's going to be covered by the mattress and, you know, the pillows and everything, so you won't see that tufting anyway. So what I'm going to do now is drill the holes for the buttons before we put the padding on. So get my drill again, take the driver out and put in my drill bits. Okay. Alright, so we got a hole there, right where we need it to be, and we'll do the rest of the holes and we'll be good. So, and this is where we're going to put the needle through to pull the buttons tight. So I will do the rest of this and then we'll move on to the next part. Okay guys, I finished drilling all the holes onto the headboard, so we have our basic design in which we're going to pull the buttons through. So now it's the time to put the padding on the board before we cover it with fabric. So I'm going to put some of the glue down, and then the first thing I'm going to use is the mattress pad. I can't get this glue open. Yeah, mattress pad over the board here, and use as our foam base. So here we go. Just gonna that over here. Okay, so now it's on there. It's going to be used as our foam base. And I'll let the glue dry. You know, you might want to press it down in the glued areas a little bit just to get it down. So we'll wait a little bit and let the glue dry, and then we'll move on to our next part. Okay everyone, so we let the glue dry. I also cut the foam pad down so that it matched the size of the board. So what we're going to do next is, I got some batting. We're going to cover the foam with the batting just to add extra softness and kind of add an extra layer too. So just unfold the batting. What we're going to do, so I have enough batting that I should be able to fold it over to make 2 layers. I would suggest probably doing 2 layers unless you just don't want your padding on the headboard to be that thick. But I kind of want a really soft padding, so that's what I'm gonna do. See if I can. And batting kind of sticks to itself and to the foam. You're still probably going to need to kind of nail it, staple it down or something. Alright, let's see if I can get this. So I'm just going to straighten this out, and once we're done with that, we'll be able to put the fabric on. Okay everyone, I have the batting and the foam pads all onto the backboard now. I actually added another mattress pad because I wanted it to be a little bit thicker. You know, it's up to you. It depends on how thick you want the headboard, excuse me, to be. So I just decided to add another one because I wanted more deeper tufts, so I wanted to add more foam to that. But we have our batting attached here now, so next thing we're going to attach the fabric over it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and move this out the way. Okay everyone, so I cleaned up the area and I have our fabric down. So what I'm going to do is put the board on top of the fabric, and then we'll start stapling the fabric around the edge. Just down. There we go. So it's sort of in the middle. Just want to make sure everything can reach over. And that gives you plenty of room, but no room on this side. Okay. So, yeah, that's kind of our dilemma. We want to make sure everything is nice and centered, so you have enough room to pull the fabric around. So I think that's a good spot. I'm just going to pull. I'm just testing to make sure that I can actually pull the fabric over and staple it, because I don't want to start doing it and then I not have enough room to staple. So it looks like everything's going to work. Okay, so what you want to do, the first thing, you can just pull over and staple it. I'm going to start with the end that I cut the buttons on, since that's going to be kind of the shortest end. So we're going to do this all the way around. All the way around. Okay, so I'm going to finish this up, and I'll show you guys the finished product. Okay, so we finished stapling the fabric onto the board, so now we can lift this up for the big reveal. Okay everyone, I finished stapling the fabric onto our board, and this is our finished product. It's nice and smooth and soft. You can see some plush to it there, so it's nice and soft. We should get a good look when we put the buttons in. So yeah, that's our next and last step, is to put the buttons in. So hopefully I can do that. That's going to be a little difficult to do by myself. If you're doing this, I do suggest getting someone to help you. I don't really have anyone at the moment, so I'm going to attempt to do this myself. And we'll... Alright everyone, we have our board ready to go for the tufting. I couldn't find the twine that we have. I know Taylor had some, but I just don't know where she put it. So I'm going to use this here, which is fishing line, just because it's really strong. I'm still going to double up on it. You don't want to use regular thread though, because that, I mean, you could, I guess you can double it or triple it if you wanted to. I feel like thread is just a bit weaker. So I'm going to use the fishing line. I'm going to double up on it. And then we're going to see how this works. You also want to use a very nice size needle here, like this one. I got that from Walmart. So it's a very nice size needle, so we can stick it all the way through. And then of course we want the buttons that we made earlier right here. So that's what we're going to be working with. So I'm going to cut some fishing line out now. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut some fishing line. Yeah, I'm using her fabric scissors to cut the fishing line. Sorry Taylor, I don't think the line's going to hurt it though. So okay. And we're just going to put the fishing line through our needle, like so. You can make sure it's even. I actually have quite a bit more than I need here. You really don't need that much because we're going to be stapling it down to the board. But what we're going to do now is we're going to go over here. We're going to go to our first hole. I'm going to make sure that's in the camera. Okay. So we're going to go to our first hole, which I have marked off here. We're going to poke it through, all the way through the hole. And it'll come out on the other side. I'm sorry, I know you guys can't see that. But what I'm going to do is out on the other side here. So I'm just going to stick the button through the needle. And then I'm going to put the needle back through the same hole. Hopefully I can come out again. Alright, there we go. So, as you can see, so now we have that. So, the problem with using fishing line is it's going to be hard for me to pull it. But what you're going to want to do, you're going to want to pull it as hard as you can. And then we're going to get our stapler and staple it down. So we're going to take this and pull as hard as we can. Hopefully I can do that. See on the other side. Yeah, that's pretty good. If you want, you can actually reach over to the other side and push it in. That's where another person would be handy. They can push for you. So actually I need to go get the staple gun, so I'm going to do that. So we're going to take this again, we're going to pull it as hard as we can. Maybe push it a little bit. Push it down. Yeah, put a staple on it. And then we're going to pull up on it. So we're going to pull it up again. Staple it again. Pull it down. Staple it again. So that way it shouldn't move. It shouldn't pull out. If you want, you can lightly staple and wrap the string around it. No, because the key is you really don't want the button to pull back out. You want it to stay tufted, which I will flip this around and show you guys in a minute. Okay, so let's flip this around. so you guys can see. So that was the first button right here. And we're going to put 45 more. So it's going to be going across the top row and then in our design going down. So hopefully my design worked out well. You guys, of course, will see the finished product. In case you can't see it this far away, there it is. That's our button. So that's the first one. As you can see, the fabric matches perfectly. Alright, welcome back everyone. So I finished the buttons on the headboard, so everything is set. Everything looks pretty good. I think I didn't pull some of the buttons tight enough, so the tuft wasn't as deep like that one. But hey, it was my first time doing it, so it was a lot of work. But like, I wouldn't say it was hard, it's just a lot of work. But we got everything. So this is the headboard. We're gonna put this up. Looks kind of big. So I hope this looks right on our bed, because this looks humongous. But that's what we got. I did this for under $100, I believe. The wood was from Home Depot. I got it for $7 or $8, one of the two, not that much. So that was the particle board that you can see on the back. That's what I got. That was like $7. And then we had the inner pieces of it, which I used 2 mattress pads and some batting on top. Mattress pads were $12 each. So those were $26 total. The batting was like $4 or $5. So I mean, we're still at what, like $45 or somewhere around that. The fabric was on sale. This is a gray suiting fabric. It was on sale at Joann's for I think 40% off. So it was like $4 a yard or something like that. I got 2 yards of the fabric, so that came out to be $8 total. And then the buttons were actually the most expensive part of this. As you saw earlier in the video, I had to kind of make these buttons, but the metal parts of this, of the buttons, for 45 of them cost me about $35. And then I covered them with the same fabric from the 2 yards I had bought before. And that's it. That's basically it. So yeah, under $100. And there we go, a tufted headboard. So I hope Taylor is surprised. I hope she's more surprised when I show her this recording, that she can go ahead and put this on her channel. And I guess you can put it on her decorate, whatever she does there. Alright, well, thanks you guys for watching. Remember to like and subscribe Taylor's channel. And, have a good day.